Ladies and gentlemen, I love meatballs, and my name is Troublmaker. And today we have a match from the Wargame Cup between the blue NATO player, Olvarious. 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 His name is Olvarious. And his opponent, the red player, also playing as NATO, Farwader. And if he was German, it'd be like Farwader. So I've actually seen Farwader. He's actually been struggling up the ladder, or the tournament bracket, I should say. He's been placing a lot of fairly good competition, and I haven't seen Olvarious, but I do know that they are equal opponents. And so some early readouts here, we see that there's a lot of gazelles, lots of cobras, and so he's going for something very helicopter heavy. That's 10 helicopters, by the way, all split up individually to be used in microed. He also has a lot of these Flakpanzers because helicopter all-laning has become very popular again. Thanks, Lord Gamer, for showing us how it's done. And thank you for giving up your spot in the tournament as the end result. And it looks like it's going to be a lot of infantry, some anti-air, and a lot of helicopters. And he's actually going to go with 3 commands here? Is that right? Yes, 1, 2, 3 command strategy. That's interesting. And from a Farwader, we're seeing a lot of tanks, a lot of tank destroyers, a few infantry, not too much, and some anti-air. In the current metagame, it's actually very wise to go fairly heavy on anti-air, just because the risk of having a well-microed helicopter attack will be dangerous. And the fact that Farwader has so much anti-air right now means that he's going to be relatively safe. As we see Farwader playing very safe, has his command stuck at Bravo. In fact, he has 2 commands at Bravo. Not moving a single one of them, worried about the gazelles. And the gazelles have in fact been spotted by Farwader's own gazelles, and they will get shot down unless he micros them back. And that's what he's doing. And the VABs are all getting moved fasted into the helicopters, which are getting lured into the roadside. And here we go. Farwader's unloading onto Olvarious. And some infantry are coming to support. He's dumping some of his chasseurs. None of them are getting stunned. The Gazelle's getting chased down, however. And looks like only one will die, and the other one will tailspin its way to victory. As we have more VABs moving up, trying to secure this very pivotal jungle location. Microing the VABs against the Yagers, who are walking forward without the support of their TPZ Fooks and are trying to get into these bunkered areas. Oh look, it's a Canadian barrel factory. That's a weird place to put it. And yeah, we can see some rolling twos have actually been right-clicked on 2 of these cobras, and these cobras will go down. Farwader's getting a pretty big lead right now, but here we go. Some TPC Fooks gonna run right through some chasseurs. The chasseurs are taking some pretty significant hits, but they are able to clear up 1 TPC Fooks, and the push continues on. We have a VAB actually climbing through the top here, and another group coming from the east. And so we're seeing an infantry all-in, under the cover of helicopter all-in, and mostly cleaned up. However, we have 3 infantry rushing towards the command armor, which is being pulled back, and there's a command armor here as well, but it doesn't have anything in the cover against these infantry. It only has the rolling twos, which of course shoot rockets into the air and are relatively useless. We can see over here a push by Farwader. He's going for the exact same thing. He has lots of infantry. He's running 2 squads of Zippos, riflemen, we sell support vehicles, and flak panzer, so it looks like this will mostly get cleaned up here. Olvarious is doing very, very good with managing his resources, and up top is where we're really worried about. Looks like VABs have been shut down, have been picked off, and another flank of VABs are moving along the top here, and looks like, oh, command armor in trouble. The command armor is firing as it retreats. The TPZ are chasing it down, and it looks like this command armor might in fact go. This is a pretty pivotal point in the game. Command armor not being fired on anymore. I'm not exactly sure why. Looks like it is sneakily getting away. And down here, it looks like mostly this has been cleaned up. However, the command armor was forced to move temporarily to lose his position for a second. And this is getting scary. Amex rolling 2, acting as a distraction, but not really all that effective. This command armor is magically surviving. He's hoping that his opponent hits these rolling 2s right now, so he desperately needs to keep this command armor vehicle after vehicle dying to rocket damage. Let's see what's exactly hitting it. We have lots of tows, tanks, and lots of stuff to actually cover the retreat of this commander, which needs to survive. All the infantry have in fact been cleaned up, and it's just these TPZ fooks, and these TPZ fooks are not doing the very pivotal damage they need to do. And in fact, the commander will survive and will plant itself down back at Echo. Over here we see a big giant collection of infantry rushing forward, trying to pick off this command armor. There's 4 VABs to cover, 4 shotters in the woods here, not going to get quite useful though. And there's really not a lot here, and it's a similar situation which Farwader has to respond appropriately, and he's moving his command armor and his rolling 2s away in a group. He would rather lose the rolling 2s than the command armor, and this is mostly been cleaned up. There's a Martyr VT side that did join the battle at the end, and it's doing fairly significant damage, but looks like it's going to get cleaned up by this Cobra. So, speaking of still scary, 2 infantry rushing forward, and these are not just VABs, these are VABs with infantry in them. Very scary. Shotters are being rotated by this VAB, so very, very good. And we can see that the 2 VABs are actually going to chase down the command armor with infantry in tow. So not a small group, and he's rallying actually Cobras up to this point. Keep in mind, he knows that there's anti-air here. So I'm not really sure why they do something like that. But he is chasing down this vehicle. The vehicle is actually panicking right now. He might be able to get this vehicle, and it is a heavily armored command vehicle. However, it's not. I don't think it's heavily armored for the retreat, is it? And it is in fact. Let's get on it. It has no reverse command armor, so it's actually more vulnerable this direction than it was the other. And it looks like it might just get away. The shotters have been deployed. They are going to take a big giant chunk out of these Martyr rolling 2s. Of course, they're a very expensive unit. And here comes more shotters. A Gazelle actually coming in to support for Farwader, as he's doing significant damage to these Martyr roll-ins, and still a very crazy play. Farwader has the lead right now, but if he's able to clean up these Amex rolling 2s with his shotters, he will do very well. And in fact, we have a what? Huh? Farwader has left the game? What? That can't be right. There's what? What just happened? Alright, so it appears that in that last game, Farwader actually disconnected. He was at an even point in the game. No one really had a strategic advantage, but yeah, he disconnected. And so we're going to see a rematch. Potentially servers crashed kind of stuff. And from Olvarious, we're going to see the exact same play. Exact same unit composition, exact same units, exact same number of commands. Everything's exactly the same. But from Farwader, we're going to see something very, very different. He doesn't have as many tanks in this group. He has a lot more anti-infantry vehicles. And we're seeing the exact same deployment here from Olvarious. Infantry going in all directions, securing all locations, using helicopters as skirmishers. And looks like some helicopters have picked off a few infantry units that are pushing forward to be super sneaky. In fact, one Gazelle will go down. Olvarious getting a small lead from that. And the infantry sneak safely into this woods. One of the very few jungles in the entire map that's worth anything. And here we go, some Gazelles and helicopters going to pick up a few infantry here. So this is a very, very good use of helicopters. And fairly aggressive game so far. 8 VABs versus 3. Olvarious knows he's losing this battle. He's actually going to retreat these vehicles and try to escape with them. If they get picked off, though, which looks like one will, it's going to be disastrous. And maybe a second one will go down as well. It's hard to say right now. VABs are trying to retreat. You can't fight those losing battles. He doesn't have a great position. It's the same unit. And Gazelle is actually just going to continue picking off these infantry. Very, very good use of helicopters here. And just smashing into the grounds. Destroying, leaving all dead bodies. There's really not much to do here. Just a lot of dead stuff. They're actually very calm considering what's happening. I would suspect they should be a little more like, oh god, the end of the world. And just small engagements happening throughout the map with infantry. We see 2 Jaeger-filled TPZ Fuchs coming into contact with 2 more. And whoa, whoa, whoa! Already is actually pushed forward into the command location. And he's actually doing a relatively high amount of damage for what he's got. He's only got 2 VABs, and they're surviving a lot longer than they ought to. There's only 2 anti-aircraft guns. He's decided to go with the Vulcan, iron ammunition, and able to defend against pushes like this. It's a major modification to style Farwader to deal with this specific type of push. And he's actually moved 3 VABs of his own to try and attack the enemy command. And, wow, these VABs are actually surviving quite a bit. Oh my god. Okay, that's Farwader. So it had an infantry in it. Scare's like, what the hell is going on here? Speaking of what the hell is going on here, it appears that strategically we have 3 very odd points here. For Olvarious, he has Delta to attack from this flank. He has Charlie for points, and then he has Golf to attack at the hotel location. So he has a lot of weird points that you don't see a lot of. Usually you see something less spread out than this. And maybe Farwader will be able to capture something because how spread out a lot of these units are. He's going to bring 8 infantry squads, and looks like Farwader's kind of positioned himself to try and wipe out a few units here. He does have a large group of infantry coming in with support of 4, yes, count them, 4 Valorous AMX 30B tanks. The French destroyer, they call them. I actually have no idea what they call them. And he's going to go, please go for the Zippo. No, it looks like he's going to go for the red from the woods. The Zippo is actually going to do some morale damage and just tear down this poor tank's morale. We have 3 fights going out once here. Over here we see the group of chasseurs are being dumped on top of this location. Desperately wants to get over and get these command kills. Over on this corner we see small groups of VABs actually chasing down the command armor. And this is something more important to focus on because the command armor is actually getting chased out of its point. And it's kind of odd that there's just not much here. Most of the VABs are shut down. The Wargame is moving into riflemen, getting into that critical grenade range as the rockets go off. The Zippo is forcing it to root from morale damage. Over on this corner we see chasseurs have surrounded this location. He hasn't really deployed this group of infantry yet. The Flakpanzer is trying to deal with these, but doesn't quite have the tools. We still need to engage right now. And we can see over here, the command armor is actually completely pushed out, and there's still elements available for a kill here, which is kind of odd. This shouldn't be doing as well as it is. Speaking of not doing as well as it is, the large tanks have been pushed out by small infantrymen. But over here, some potential here. Looks like he's going to in fact pull the command armor. He's pulling, well, that's actually a route. These units are getting rooted out. And he's actually just going to move the command armor back over to Alpha, a more secure location. And Farwader really taking advantage of the fact that Olvarious is kind of split up his army in such a way that he's going to have problems. And continues to move his chasseurs in to try and do more damage. He's got lots of units routed, and the command armor is on the way out. And speaking of command armor scariness, there's 3 TPZ Fuchs coming into corner this command armor, and there's a VAB that's been attacking it non-stop. The VAB doesn't have any challengers right now. The Vulcan is completely out of ammo. The Fernspeyer are too slow. The TPZ Fuchs are available, not moving. And he actually might lose the command armor in possibly one of the most embarrassing ways possible. But wait, Gazelles have struck. Yes, Gazelles are actually going to come in and cover the retreat of the critical command armor. And he knows how valuable command armor is. He is throwing all of his helicopters at this. He has a lot of them refilling up somewhere, so he's not bringing the full squad. Rifleman, what are they feeding you? I would be nervous with this. It's panicked, it's rooted, it's moving, and it's still being chased down. There's an infantry in this TPZ Fuchs can do some pretty silly damage right now, and one VAB comes in to try and stop this. That is going to be laughable. TPZ Fuchs, however, is coming in to try and help deal some damages, and the command armor is just slowly getting petted away. It's like trying to beat a turtle by scraping him with a spoon. And yes, turtles are delicious, but it would take a long time, is all I'm saying. The Augur has been forced to deploy through being killed. Empty Vulcan also moving up the Fernspeyer command, but he's starting to realize the severity of this situation, that in fact he could actually lose a command armor to some very small, overall useless units. And looks like we have some gunship helicopters coming in to support this might be the critical unit that he needs right now, because these gunships can actually pick off all these TPZ folks relatively easy. And in fact, can you just not see this command armor? Is that what's going on here? Oh, he does. It's just not firing for some reason. That's odd. And in fact, he's actually going to clean up every single one of these. Command armor, 1 hit point. This thing's got to start firing. If it starts firing, this command armor dies. It has 1 hit point. The hog is loading up. And the folks will go down. Over here we see some more chasseurs. This is the remnants of a former attack. Lots of infantry, lots of tanks. It used to be 4 tanks, now it's only the 1. And the tank looks like it'll take out some riflemen just pitter-pattering at them. And this is where tanks are valuable, these big, giant, wide open areas. He can't just rush infantry costs because the tank can actually just move away. And the tank is doing a very, very good job just slowly pecking away at these infantry groups. The critical unit he wants to get is actually the Zippo, because that would allow his infantry to not instantly die. And non-instant death is actually a big deal. Speaking of 4 gazelles coming out for Farwader, that just happened. The Valorous is moving up into position to try and take out the Zippo, maybe? Nope, he's actually going to fire on the rifle squad, which is in range, and he actually needs to kite the Valorous back before he loses it to these riflemen. It's, of course, a very big money target. These losses of these AMX-30Bs pretty well accounts for the score difference right now. That's just how valuable these things are. The Zippo is going to completely cream the group of chasseurs from us, and the Valorous able to stun the riflemen, but is slowly falling away. The Zippo is actually going to move up and support. It's actually rooted. It is rooted, and that is going to cause a problem for Farwader. He's now at 50% HP on this tank. Can he keep it alive is the question. Speaking of 4 flak panzers running into 4 gazelles, that also just happened. Olvarious is reading the mind of Farwader. And now we see, oh my god, that was kind of weird. An infantry carrier ran into the chasseurs from us, and the chasseurs from us grenade, one-shot it, and killed the remnants inside. Kind of scary. Kind of scary for Olvarious. Oh, God. Where's that commander? It's right here. It's got 1 HP, and there's a group of TPZ Fooks actually coming down. There should be more than enough here to deal with this, though. So it looks like that commander will survive. On the other hand, this commander right here is not looking so hot, and it's actually going to get pulled and is retreating. The flank has failed. The gunships, however, are swinging around, and oh my god, the commander is actually going to try and move up and engage. Are you kidding me? This is the surefirest way to lose your commander. The TPZ Fooks, however, is not responding. It's just going to continue on its merry way, and it survives the fight another day. But this commander looks like it's finally going to get secured again. Can stay in this jungle next to the infantry. And in fact, he's going to move the commander back, and he's going to be relatively fine. There's still 1 TPZ Fooks. And keep in mind, it only needs to be 1 shot. Any vehicle firing once will kill this commander. And really, he's winding up. Actually on the Fern Spires. And looks like he's getting in range of the infantry. And we see the awesome grenade attack coming up. Boom! Grenade, and it's almost down. TPZ Fooks is down. So close, so far away. Gazelle's passing over riflemen, because he's a boss. It looks like he's just going to use these gazelles in what has become a pretty standardized way of dealing with things. Just picking apart units where there's no anti-air. It would be nicer for him right now if he had a recon, because then he'd be able to also deal effectively with the infantry. And the leopards are trying to escape, but not doing so hot at that. So score looking very favoring Olvarious. He's got a 400-point lead, and here we go. Lots of helicopters out. Lots of helicopters. And in fact, this VAB PC isn't a bad spot. There's a lot of riflemen here, and a lot of empty infantry vehicles, and they're all out of fuel, but this is a lot of infantry. I mean, Olvarious could actually go for a simultaneous kill. It's scary, but it's true. He can actually just go in, kill this VAB PC, and then kill this one with a helicopter all in, and he could just take the game. That could just be game. and we actually see a few helicopters and some Jaegers going to take out some Gazelles who have overstretched themselves, don't want to face that Leopard 1A1, and another flank of Chasseurs might run into them. No, these are actually friendlies. Friend. And here we go, the Gazelle winding up against the VABPC. The tank is blocked from supporting this VABPC because the rifleman will kill it with the grenade rocket combo, one of the most potent combinations in the game. And this VABPC still has 2 more hit points to go. And simultaneous killing, baby. 2 or 3 simultaneous. Hooah! Boom, boom, bam! So, very impressive game, or games, from Olvarious, using what has become one of the more popular builds in the game, doing very well from it. Someone that can be learned from, I think. Farwader pushed to the tournament. He's had a hard time up to this point, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to persevere. Maybe next year. Olvarious moves on to round 5. My name is Troublmaker, and this is Wargame Cup. I should have like 1 more game today. Thank you guys for watching.